This film should really have a trigger warning, as it may leave you with trauma. Being happy is not something you'll feel after the film ends. But does every film needs to make you happy? Of course not, but there is more. Let's break it down. Hello guys, I'm Nona Prince, and today we're talking about the latest Malayalam film Appan, written and directed by Maju, co-written by R. Jayakumar. The film is out on Sony Live and dubbed in many languages, and I've been getting so many comments to check it out, and I finally did. Now first of all, conceptually, the film is very relatable. With having an aged family member who's bedridden, you have to look after them, and depending on what they are suffering from, they kind of act like a child in an adult's body. They become unreasonable, and that makes it much harder, but it's our duty, we have to do it. And we have seen variations of the story many times. We have films giving a social message that we need to look after them. It is our duty. Abandoning them is not an option, and that is very much part of our culture. We live with them until their last breath. That is what is looked upon on in Indian society. But what this film does is it takes that concept to an other extreme. I have heard stories of these elders becoming abusive, and it's very understandable because the situation they are in. They cannot do anything. They are totally dependent on someone else. Stuck for life in one place takes a really big toll on their mental health. But the film takes it just too far, and that's why there's an instant disconnect with Appan's character, played brilliantly by Alencier Ley Lopez. A very different role for him, and he nailed it. And over that, there was a cultural shock also. Him being a womanizer, so abusive, even before he got bedridden. There are women coming to house to meet him. Then he also had a second marriage. I'm not denying the fact that they cannot be a person like this, but considering their family, it was very unusual for me. These are the things which are really looked down upon, and even if a person commits them, they are very unknown to the society around. Only very few people know about it. It's like a secret. But the openness of it, that the whole village knows about it, that really threw me off. Now the film very well translates the frustration of the family to us, the audience. The whole cast did a great job, especially Sunny Wayne. He was a revelation for me. I never expected such performance from him. And with all of this, there are underlying themes of patriarchy, misogyny, toxicity in relationships. The first scene of the film is of a storage room where all these things are kept for so long they have gathered dust. And from there, we cut to the feet of the men of the family. All of them look different, but they are on the same path. The film is shot really well. It's technically sound. Throughout the film, we just stay in this house surrounded by this forest, just like the characters who are trapped within it. Now the big issue I had was the film pushed it really too far, to such an extent that the result of it was the characters and their motivations became skewed, which is not a really good thing. Appan is really ungrateful of everything the family is doing for him, and over that, he's an unredeemable character. There's literally no saving grace, and I just couldn't see why the family is still taking care of him. It was full on toxic. It was torture, and we would just keep going on and on with it. And over the film, we get more reveals that he's just the worst. I just couldn't get what's stopping them. Why are they not ending it? Now from the start, the film establishes that everyone in the family wants him dead. They're just waiting for it. The mother calls her dream good because in that Appan was dead. Not just the family, the whole village is waiting for it. It's not the case that the family knows how evil he is, but in the society, he is very well known, and thus they cannot really kill him. That's not the case at all. So the only conflict is morally, they don't want to do it. They will not be able to live with the fact that they killed him. But as I said, there's not a single thing good about Appan. Not even 1%. There's no saving grace. The family hates him. They are ashamed of him. He has led to trauma in their lives. Bedridden or not, he was never a good father nor a good husband. So when in the film they bring up the guilt conscious, it just doesn't work. Sunny Wayne's character asks his kid, will you take care of me when I get old? He's worried about that. He's worried about the legacy. The mother wants Appan dead, but when his own son, out of frustration, tries to strangle him, she's scared of him. That what if tomorrow, if I also fell sick and got bedridden, will you even kill me? How's that even a question? That makes no sense because you are two different people. You were good to him. Even after illness, you were not good to him. He'll remember the good old days and still take care of you. How can you compare yourself to Appan? How can you just equate that and guilty shame your son? And that also dives into her character. That how is she brought up? That whatever the man does, she has to obey. She cannot really fight back or kill or move out. And we have a dialogue by her that it was worst in her own house. Where would she go? And Appan knew that. That's why he committed all these atrocities. You have a son son who went through all of this and is trying his best to be different, to not be Appan, but every time he does something, everyone points a finger at him that you are becoming like your father. But the difference between the father and him is just too extreme, and that's why it becomes convoluted. I think the film really lacks a good dilemma because the one we had in the film didn't work for me. Now this whole film can be a metaphor that we cannot let go of our past, even if it was too evil. We keep it too close to us and let it haunt us. But still, by the end of the film, I really felt confused. I just couldn't understand what the film is trying to say. And then the climax was just underwhelming. You know, the film reminded me of Maju. Even in that film, the father-son had some differences between them, but after he's passed away, he wanted to remember the good side of him. He wanted to give him a good send-off. And that's what the film builds upon. But what if in that film, it was established that he hates his father? He was never good to him. He doesn't care about him. He just wants him to die. Then whatever the film was doing would not make sense. There will be a disconnect. He would not care about his funeral at all. And that's what I felt happened in this film. Now, the one thing the film was able to do was have an impact. It was haunting. It was not a great experience watching it. You felt what the characters felt in the film. And by the end, it just doesn't leave you with a good feeling. I would want to erase this film from my mind. But if you want to feel good, you can check out this video next. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.